Man, okay, so it is it is such an undervalued tool to have a good team around you and what their energy is back to you. So, especially in these impossible routes that I've done and when I did the nationals championship, uh I have found that having good people around you change your mindset and how your energy is actually distributed. There's actual like measurable effects when you're tired and you're cracked and you see your crew and they're happy and they're cheering you on, dude, you get a whole new wave of excitement and energy, and you can keep going. If your crew is not happy with you, if they're pissed at you because you said some shit, right? Like, and they're doing the bare minimum, then it becomes basically impossible. And so what you can achieve if you have a good crew around you is anything. And that's such like a cliche poster type thing, but like when you have to do something, when there is no option to quit, what your body can do is insanity. Like you have never even come close to what your body
Yeah,
is capable of.
yeah.
And so many people go, well, I quit when I was tired. And it's like, yeah, you have signals from your body saying, hey, you should probably like slow down or whatever.
You don't
But
have to listen those signals.
you don't. And so when you have a crew that is there, you can sort of offload all of these negative thoughts like on them in a way. Like you don't have to say negative thoughts to them, but if they're happy and if they're pumped and if they're excited, you just sort of go along with it. And you're like, well, if they're not tired, if they're not complaining, and so, but that means that you just like training, you have to put energy into your relationships to be able to receive something out of that. Like you can't just all of a sudden
Nice.
go, you can't go, I'm going to be the fittest guy ever. Well, have you ever trained? No. Okay, well then you can't. You're not. There's no energy to pull out of that. So when I'm doing these events, it's something that I always try to make sure to um, show signs of appreciation to the crew, to the people that aren't going to get the spotlight, right? Like a lot of it's like on me. And so with the national championships, and I don't want to make this like a bragging thing. I don't want to ever talk about how I treat the crew because then it's like, oh, you're just doing that to get like people,
Yeah,
applause.
sounds conditional. Yeah.
But I will say that like these are things in my mind. The whole crew was going to cross the finish line together, and so it wasn't
Nice.
going to just be me. And so we did that. I had a big enough lead coming in that as we got to the finish line, we stopped. We got everyone out of the cars, and we all crossed the finish line together because the
Wow.
driver, our crew chief, my son, like it doesn't matter what you were doing, you were a part of this. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
so, these are things like during one climb, my wife was out there just cheering me on, and I stopped and I gave her a kiss. I'm racing my bike and I stop and I give her a kiss because like she's out here for 29 hours doing what? You know what I mean? Like
Unbelievable.
she has had to give so much of herself to me that I can't take that for granted. And so like relationships, are so important. And if you are gonna do something big, if you're gonna do something, you know, where you push yourself beyond what you think is possible, one, putting it out there in the world and saying, I'm gonna do this, one, now you're held accountable.
Hmm.
And if you have good relationships, there'll be moments where you think about some random person that's going to be watching this and you're not going to want to let them down. And
That's
what's
right.
very
Yeah.
weird what's very weird is you can let yourself down all the time, right? Like because if it's just you can come up with some excuse
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
why why you're going to stop or why it didn't work or whatever. But when it's other people, you can't, like, I think about the Strava title that I'm going to post about something so much because, like, I'm, you know, there's so many people that are going to be looking at this and I'm going to be held accountable. And I said what I was going to do. And now do I have to make an excuse? And like, are people going to be let down? And now, if I had a shitty relationship with people, if I was always mean to them, or if I yelled at them, or like it was like, hey, do this or do that, or, you know, and on, to be honest, like in these impossible routes, we're paying a fuck ton of money to the film crew. Like these guys are getting paid good. And so um there's an instinct to be like, okay, well, I'm paying you. I'm not getting paid, right? I'm paying you. You should be doing all of these things just without being asked. Like you got a job to do. But you got to set that aside. And just as a human to another human, who cares about the logistics and the money and the credit or whatever? You need this person to genuinely want you to succeed, and you want this person to be happy when you do. And so that bond, that relationship takes so much time and effort to one, okay, when you're at your lowest, and this is what I love about ultra, this is what I love about really pushing yourself to the total brink of failure. When you have no energy to hold up the mask, like we all have masks, right? We all have like
Okay.
how you treat other people. Like if I meet you for the very first time, I can be whatever I think you want me to be.
Yeah, yeah, that's one layer
But
and then another and then another. Yeah. I know
but
what you're saying.
when you are 27 hours in, you've puked 4 times, you have no sleep, you know, everything is irritating. What kind of person are you then? And if you're still a genuinely good person to other people, that's just your base human trait.